If you're doing wilderness living, this is what you need. Pure animal fat, right there. Man, that's the secrets. The secrets our ancestors knew that we've had to relearn. And now we know why they did the pit roast, and now we know why they plucked animals, most likely to make use of the full resource. It's like eating a stick of lard, and you can swallow that easily. Anybody who says coon fat's gross, never ate coon fat. It's like butter. That tastes like bacon. It's straight up fat. Hey guys, welcome to South Texas. I'm on Bob Hanster's property. We're out on his ranch, and we got a problem. We have raccoons messing around with Bob's crawfish traps. We're trying to put a crawfish boil together, and we've got pyramid traps set out here in the water, and every morning we're finding them knocked over and a crawfish completely decimated. So how do you put a meal together if you got that happening? So these coons were basically nuisance animals on your property, Bob?
We have hundreds and hundreds of them, and that's fine. So the problem's not so much having lots of raccoons on the property. We like to have a balanced ecosystem. The issue comes down to a few of the coons learning a new trick, which is pulling in those crawdad traps and destroying them. So they learn how to look for the lines, they learn how to look for the crawdad traps sticking up out of the water, and they'll pull them in. We don't get any crawdads, and they become more and more of a nuisance, breaking things. So this is just the beginning. Once they get even more hungry, the population spikes like it did last year. We had so many this winter just die from starvation. So the population's already up. We have too many raccoons as it is. It's time to cull a little bit, do some management.
All right guys, man, we got ourselves a coon. Next morning, based on Bob's advice yesterday, we threw this trap down here in the creek bed. Talking to Bob about doing the pit roast. What do you think, buddy?
Heck yeah, you're in the right spot for it, man.
All right guys, gonna be calm and quiet right now. We don't want to agitate the raccoon. I have trapped a bunch of raccoons back home. I know you got a lot here, right?
To say the least.
To say the least.
Yeah.
So we don't want to agitate the raccoon any more than absolutely humanly necessary. All right, how about we, let's put this animal out, and we'll throw him in refrigeration just to make sure that we're not harassing the animal any more than absolutely necessary. All right, so we're at the rock site here, and Bob's telling me it's a historical flint spot. He said all the rocks up here are flint, but flint is what we're going to use because flint's what we got. He said there's a historical flint site here. He's found arrowheads all over here. I'll have to show you that if I get a chance. But we're going to collect a pile of this, and these are going to be our stones to do our pit roast. I think if we get one 5-gallon pail, we'll probably be all right. You got a collection of arrowheads. You got to show me, man.
Oh yeah.
I love to see them.
A lot of time on the trail. Some beautiful artwork. Those guys back then, amazing.
Always gotta watch out for those fire ants. They're everywhere. All right guys, now the work begins. Who's doing the first one?
You do the honors, man.
This jug goes down once about every 2-3 hours. That's about it.
Probably more today. All right, so this right here, we're digging these things up. I call this crow's poison every once in a while. Looks like a beautiful onion bulb, especially if you're in the middle of the wilderness living challenge. You might think that's a really good thing to eat. It's not. It's toxic. It tastes horrible. Again, if you're looking for onions, garlic, if it smells like garlic, onions. If it tastes like garlic, onions, it's onions. It's garlic. This does not. It's actually a rain lily bulb. Pretty cool. we have pickaxes.
That's why we have pickaxes. That soil, man, it's hard as a rock. It's a good thing we got those pickaxes, otherwise with a shovel, it's not happening at all. Part of the reason why we set up here is because we got mesquite here. Bob's been teaching me about the local woods to burn. We've been burning a lot of hackberry, which is I guess a lighter wood, not as dense. And any of the wood here produces lots of heat, but it doesn't always last very long. The mesquite is I guess we would consider a very hard wood, and it goes for apparently like this tree right here. Bob said it was probably worth about 400 bucks. People buy it all the time just to use as smoke for smoking meats and stuff like that. And yeah, so that's exactly what we're going to use. We're going to use a $400 tree here to cook a coon in a pit. Pit can't be too big, but it can definitely be too small. I mean, I could probably crouch in here, but when you add in the rocks, the animal, we're gonna probably use some burlap, cactus pads. You're starting to get a big mound, and you have to have enough heat in there to cook what you're gonna put on top.
What are you doing, Woodbeard?
That's some hard wood. We'll get some nice coals out of that. All we got to do is let those rocks heat up, and we're going to drop all the coals inside the rocks, and we're going to use some cool rocks on top just as a buffer. Put the cactus down, the cactus pads on down, wrap the raccoon up with the burlap, wet burlap, because we don't want it to burn, we want it to steam. And the cactus pads themselves will provide a lot of moisture, so that'll help steam as well. Cactus pads on top, and then you know, then we'll cover it up with the coals and put the fire on top, and we'll just let it sit all night. All right guys, so the right way to do a pit roast is to actually pluck the animal, so you get something like a, you know, smooth skin kind of thing. And I've done this once before to good success. The idea here is to make sure that the fur is wet all the time so that it doesn't burn and the skin doesn't burn. So by having it wet, the hair won't leave that residue, that burnt hair taste, and it'll be a lot easier to just remove. I think I'm pretty satisfied with that job. It's by no means perfect, but we're not going to be eating the skin anyway on this guy, I don't think, but it will help seal in that moisture with what we want. Alright, so we need something to insulate from the burlap. We're obviously going to wrap the coon in the burlap, and then we're going to put some cactus pads on the coals, and that's going to help steam everything, and the burlap's going to help protect the raccoon. But we're also going to use burlap to catch the cactus pads because they're full of spikes.
Glockids.
Glockids.
Yeah.
My favorite character.
New vernacular. Yeah.
Dude, I can't get close.
You got a lot. Hear that flint?
Yeah. Whew. All right, so hopefully that addresses all your questions about how to do a pit roast. We still got some heat on the fire. Oh yeah, that's always a good sign. Hey guys, good morning. We went over, grabbed some rib bones from an old cow. Been decomposing for a long time. We'll use these as our traditional digging sticks, digging implements, I suppose you should call them. The raccoon's been overnight and plus, so we got lots of heat there, which is the good thing. I can't see any reason why it wouldn't be cooked well done, but not overdone. Should be steamed with all those cactus pads in there. So all we got to do is unearth it and see if we've done it right. Well, before we do the big reveal, I'm going to show you what this flint can do. So you got a pile of this on the property. It's basically what we used to cook with, right?
Absolutely.
And you got some treasures here that are interesting to show off.
Yeah, these are primarily from the Davis Mountains of West Texas. Old stomping ground. But, yeah, this is a favorite. Find a lot of arrowheads, a lot of tools out in the mountains, but this is actually a stone axe made out of rhyolite. It's not going to be anything close to what we can use modern day technology, but it's a pretty cool piece of craftsmanship when you think about what they had and what they used to build it and what it was utilized for. So that's a good tool to have.
Yeah, that's
good size.
Got some weight to it. You can see probably, if they had left it, probably one of the ones that they didn't particularly have a use for, or maybe it was practice, or...
You find lots of practice stuff. You find a lot of kind of junk flint that I imagine the kids were playing with.
Sure.
So after a while, you just kind of put together their campsite and kind of put together their day to day. And so you can see masters of art, just artwork. Some of these pieces of things are just absolutely beautiful, beyond anything I could ever hope to achieve. And then you've got some very simple things that I imagine a kid
was playing around, trying to learn the trade.
That's the only way you can learn it, yeah. That's going to be completely new.
All right, let's exhume the body. I'm hungry. You ready?
As I'll ever be.
All right, let's do this. So just do it carefully, not to get any dirt. It doesn't look too bad. A little bit of dirt on top, but really,
Dusting.
yeah, just a dusting. So, yeah.
That's where our grease was. That entire challenge. That's where our grease was.
On the skin.
Yeah. On this coon. Pretty particular about my raccoon.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh man.
Is it good or what? Oh dude.
It's like ham. Christmas ham.
Fall off the bone tender.
Christmas ham. And that's got some flavor. That's almost like a turkey leg from the fair. That's the flavor.
Oh,
you get.
dude, that's 100% bang on. You cannot ask for a better cut of meat than that. That's a coon.
It's just fat.
Fat.
Yeah. Keep on coming back to that turkey flavor. It's just the turkey leg that you always get from the fair, guys. That's what this is.
And the flavor and the grease and the oil, it's like it's deep fried.
Hey, you can feel it.
Look at your fingers, they're greasy.
Completely greased up.
That's amazing. Here's your leg. There you go, brother.
It just feels like I'm walking through the fair with one of those big turkey legs.
100%. This is how you do it, guys. This is how you do it. So the trick is, in wilderness living, you got to do something that's a little bit gross to get something that's a little bit wonderful. In this case, this is wonderful. You can see that meat. Just pulls right off. There's no weird flavors about having the skin or skin burnt. Nothing at all. It's so oily. You can see how slick it is on your fingers. Like that you don't get. Wilderness living, you have to keep obviously every single calorie you can possibly get out of an animal, and that comes from keeping and preserving the skin. I never would have thought before trying it that the results would be this good, but they're literally amazing. This is a perfectly, you could sell this in a restaurant good. The meat on here just falls right off. We didn't do anything special. I put a little bit of adobo spice inside the cavity, but there's no flavor of adobo. This is just flavor of coon, which is basically like eating a piece of roast beef / turkey leg. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. Bob's devouring back there. He loves it. So we're gonna get a good feed out of this, and I have no problem downing a whole coon just like this. None at all. Look at this. Look at the fat on here. I gotta show you how it's crazy. The amount of energy you can get off this. They're straight up fat. It's like butter. And you could swallow that easily. It's like eating a stick of lard. Nothing wrong with it. Anybody who says coon fat's gross, never ate coon fat. In fact, that tastes like bacon. That's wonderful. Look at that. You could get, man, I'm going on with this, but if you're doing wilderness living, this is what you need. This technique is 100% worth it once you got your pit. So pure fat, pure animal fat, right there. Man, that's the secrets. The secrets our ancestors knew that we've had to relearn. And now we know why they did the pit roast, and now we know why they plucked animals, most likely to make use of the full resource. Pretty cool stuff. You guys ever plan on doing this, allocate at least an hour just for plucking. It is a very, very extensive and tedious process. If you have a couple people, you will be all the better. I do recommend stealing your gloves from your wife. Don't tell her till you get back. She'll appreciate the meal you provide for her, I'm sure. All right, so a couple more scrapes here. Throw it up in the tree, take the guts out, and then we got to work on the pit next.